All righty. What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, guys. So we're going to kick it off here with QQ's daily chart. And I think, everything else is looking pretty fine to me. But this is really a chart that's going to be determining the next move. Now, I will give a little spoiler alert. We have 3 out of 4 major indices with bullish closes today, and they do look like they want to march up higher. But then QQQ here, all right, is just sitting here in our golden pocket and is stuck in a range. All right, so we're consolidating. I'm going to point out key levels that we are going to be looking for that, decisive move. Okay, we're either going one way or the other. I'm going to point out during this video, right at the start of the video, what we're paying attention to. All right, so on the upside, guys, we have the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement right here. That comes in right around our 511.45 resistance. That was yesterday's high. If you can break above 511.45, it is very likely you start marching your way up here to 515.58. And above there, we're going to watch the 520 cycle level. I don't know if that's going to be the case, which is why I'm going to give both scenarios here, okay? On the downside of the range, we are going to be watching 506.41. If you break under there, that opens the door down to 504.26, 502.78. And if you cannot hold 502.78, that is when things would turn ugly. Okay. So caution on the downside if 506.41 is broken, caution on the upside if 511.45 is broken. Now, why is 502.78 the level that things would turn ugly? Well, first things first, price would get back underneath the daily 9, which, we waited for price to drag itself above here. You consolidated around our short-term moving averages for quite some time here. You dragged yourself back up, hit it with the break and retest off of the 9, and that would be it slipping again. And what else do we have down here? We're going to have our trend line, okay? So we're going to have the lower trend line of this rising wedge pattern. So 502.78 cannot hold. Let's just look at where that would bring price, okay? Tomorrow. You're right here at the trend line again. That's when you're in fishy territory, okay? And now let's say you're at 502 the next day. Well, now you're right here smack dead on it. And if you lose that level, boom. All right, you don't really have much. I know you got all this, but you are going to be under the trend line that's been holding. That's going to be, a sign of weakness. It's not going to be strength, okay? And, if this level doesn't hold 502.78, I have to assume you're probably going to come down here towards these lows again. And at that point, you broke down from your rising wedge. So if you were to get a bounce from there, okay, and, chances are these aren't just going to hold, okay? Or they hold, you get a dead cat bounce, you get some action like that. Let's say you just have a quick decline all at once, okay? And you take out this low right here, which, let's just put that back on the chart too. It's going to be 494.49. So let's just say you do end up coming straight down here and you take out that low. You bounce off the 492.88 gap. Well, now what do we have? All right, you have these lows here. You have a lower high compared to over here, and then boom. All right, you're going to have another lower low. Well, not another lower low, but the first lower low after that first lower high. That is not going to be good. That is building out bearish structure. We don't want to see that if you are, thinking on the long side here. So that is why I say it is a time to be patient. It is a time that, we knew for a fact we had this short trading week. We're going to have, a half day on Friday. Okay. And we have off tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, guys. Our prayers go out to families. And everybody have a great time tomorrow. And, if not, again, just know you have the online community. We're here for each other. There you go. All right. But, I hope everybody has a great holiday season there. Okay. But on the upside, that's really all you got to worry about over here is 511.45. You could break above that. You have your second test of the 0.786 fib. Chances are, if you make a higher high here, you're probably going to get a bigger move, and you see a vertical move from 511.45 to 515.58, probably over 1 to 2 trading sessions. That is what I'm watching for. We can see the hourly RSI over here. See how it got all overbought over here. See how it got overbought over there. And then it started, consolidating. Well, guess what? You're still not overbought. So, I'm biased to the upside here. Now, we're going to come over here to SPY next, and I'm going to point out, guys, all right, you're not looking bad at all here in the weekly time frame. We pointed out coming into this week on the weekly update, Pointing out we're looking for new all-time highs on SPY, on IWM, on DIA. They're all poised for highs, okay? And if you're not already following the Twitter, go hit the link down below, follow the Twitter. I believe, you know, Friday right after close, I pointed out SPY, IWM, DIA are poised for highs going into next week. And then QQ was at least going to see $4 more of upside. Guys, we saw that right off of Monday. It was okay to be bullish into this week. Now we have gotten what we were looking for, and now it's a time to just sit on our hands because of what we just talked about for QQQ. Okay, and you know, on top of that, it's a low volume week. You're gonna have more traps during the week. More things can happen. Okay, like more tricky things can happen. Okay, tricky price action. That is what we had. We also pointed out that, you know, typically during the short weeks, at least from my experience, I believe I feel like most of the time I've seen these things either go sideways or grind higher. And I mean, it's a slow grind. And I think that is what we're seeing here. Just, you know, grindy price action here, right? You're just stair stepping up. We're not talking like an impulsive move up like that. We're talking you grind, you stair step. Okay, so don't expect much out of this week, but you know, at the current point in time, everything is looking good, and I doubt we're going to get a double top here and just, you know, fall flat in our face. It's very likely you continue higher. So above 617, we're going to be paying attention to the 605 psychological level. On the downside, you want to hold 617, but if you can't, then it's fine. Pullbacks are healthy, guys. Things don't go straight up, they don't go straight down. You're going to test 596.15. Daily 9 is going to meet you halfway, and it's going to be right around there. Maybe you put in a lower wick there or a doji candlestick, and that is your, you know, signal that, hey, buyers are now stepping back in. We potentially about to have that next leg up like that. Okay, so over the next 2 trading sessions, if we come down here, guys, don't lose your heads. Okay, don't lose your heads. It is okay. Okay, but also don't expect much this week, guys. We literally have Thursday off. Okay. We know banks, you know, are not, like, big players are not going to be trading right before the holiday. I'm just putting that one out there. They're definitely not going to be doing so. You know, we've seen that for quite some time now. And if the big players aren't moving, it's just retail, you know, having their hand in this, and, you know, smaller players. And that's why I said low volume. And then also we have off on Thursday, and then we have a half day on Friday. So more incentive for the big players not to put their hands in this mess. Again, do not expect much this week. Okay, we already got what we were looking for coming into the week. There's no reason to, you know, put pressure on yourself to, you know, force some trades or anything like that. Just sit in your hands, just chill, and you're going to be quite all right. There you go. All right. On the downside, though, if you cannot hold 596.15, we're going to be watching 591.04, and then we're watching for the retest of 586.12. Do I think you're getting back down there? No. All right, pointed out, you know, how bullish this look was on, you know, 3 of the indices, and then QQ was the only one, you know, not looking like it wasn't looking bearish. I'm pointing out every other time we've gotten that look on the weekly chart, we got this, you know, at least a $4 move up. But, you know, just look at SPY over here. This thing's kind of beautiful, and I doubt we're going to have increasing volume this week, but that is fine because it is expected. Okay. That's SPY. We're going to come over here to IWM, and I'm going to point out bullish close on IWM over here. All right, you found buyers off of the lows today, and now from those lows, you are up about 0.7% there. All right, if this thing does decide to pull back, it's not anything to worry about. I don't think it's going to pull back. We did end up hitting all-time highs, 244.46. See it over here on the weekly chart. But if it does continue to pull back, we're going to be watching 235.57. That's going to be the high from over here last Thursday. And the daily 9 is going to be somewhere right over here. So maybe we come down. Maybe we don't even hit this. So you're going to watch the daily 9 EMA as support under 239.24. And then if the daily 9 isn't holding, we're going to watch 235.57. I would not, you know, doubt that we're going to get a wick or a doji candlestick if we come down over here. So again, don't expect too much. And, you know, I'm going to say don't expect too much on either side over here, but I don't think small caps, excuse me, I don't think small caps are done over here. I got to tickle my throat. Let me drink some water. Hold your horses. There we go. My apologies. I was just eating. You can't talk fast when you just ate. No. It's Mexican food. All right. So on the upside for IWM, we're watching 242.39 and then 244.56. 46. I do think the 250 psychological level will be hit now that we took out all-time highs ever so slightly. I do think we're going to get a daily close over the previous all-time high, because as of right now, we did not get a new all-time high on a closing basis. Yes, we did. Yes, we did, actually. We got a new closing basis all-time high. Technically. It'd be right here, right? No, it's like the same. All right. So I think we're going to get a daily close above 244.46. I'm looking for the dip to be bought, whether it's here or down here. I think this train over here has some more steam left in it. Now moving over here to DIA, another bullish close on the day with that increasing volume. We like to see it, guys. We do like to see it. You were just stair stepping your way up. Okay. Let's just, outline how this really has gone. Okay. Hit it with the break and retest there. Hit it with a break and retest there. We have, a little guy going on right here off of 244.87, previous all-time high right there, break and retest. Now you're up at a new high. You're right around 450. I doubt 450 isn't going to be hit. I'm looking for continued upside into tomorrow. I'm not saying you don't get an intraday reversal, but I am looking for further upside. All right. If it pulls back, I'm looking for that to be bought. Now, coming over here to VIX, before we go into some individual tickers, go into the mega caps and the chip stocks. VIX over here, guys, I highly doubt you're not going to take out this low that is 3.5% lower than current price right now. If you see that, expect consolidation or a little further upside over there on the indices. That's typically what we're going to see if VIX is declining over here. I doubt it is not going to, come down and take out the low. It's extremely likely that it will end up taking out that low. And from that point, guys, all right, can VIX spike here? Of course you can. Of course. 2461 on the RSI over there, and then you got 2332. So we don't have a bullish divergence going on over there. But as far as the daily chart is concerned, you're about to have a daily bullish divergence in here. We were looking for the bounce when you came down here. Why? Okay, first things first, you are hanging on for dear life at the bottom of our zone. You're also at the daily RSI in the same spot you've been getting these bounces at. Okay, and unless the SPY over there, S&P 500 was going to have a 10% rip, and we were going to get something like over here. Every other time other than that, guys, you bounce right smack dead right there, all right? So, next time we come down to that spot, I'm going to say the same exact thing. Are we about to come down to that spot right now? Yeah, okay? So, unless SPY is going to have a big rip from here, we're talking 5% plus rip to the upside. If you see it down here, VIX is going to get bought up, all right? So that's something that we're going to be looking for, okay? All right, so those are the indices. I'm actually just going to come over here to NQ, guys. Like, does this look bearish to you? No. Okay. Even though you get the fake outs. Okay. You get the fake outs. What is this thing right over here? All right. Putting a nice hammer candlestick right off of the break and retest 0.618 fib right there. What happened? Fell flat in your face. All right. That's what I was telling the people today. There's no point in forced trades in this environment. In a normal environment. This looks freaking beautiful right here. Okay, it looks beautiful. Did it get any continuation? No. You fell flat on your face. It's a frustrating market to trade. Don't frustrate yourself. Just don't. Excuse-moi. Told you I just ate. My bad. My apologies. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. You just bounce in between golden pocket to golden pocket, guys. You're stuck in this little range over there on the NASDAQ. You might as well just wait for it to break out. And I gave you the key to that, going for that breakout, get a break above 511.45. You could play this whole move right here. All right. That's 0.8%. Well, what is 0.8% over here on the NASDAQ? Right there. 150, 200 points. That's what you got on the table if you can break above 511.45 on QQQ. All right, now let's go over some of these big boys, guys. Tesla fell flat on its face after getting that false breakout over here. But I am going to remind everyone, you're right here at the daily 9. This is where we found buyers over here. Okay, it looked like death over here. We were saying we were probably going to be getting a bounce. Worst case scenario, we come down to 299.29. Now I'm going to be saying, guys, all right, you lose this thing, expect to test 330 and then the 324.68 gap right there. At the end of the day, I do think this thing's going to be bought up between 299.29 and 313.61. There's this breakout level right there. And then you get the big boy right over there. You could see what I could see here on the weekly chart. This thing wants to rip. this thing is probably going to be at all-time highs by January. I know that's only 1 to 2 months away at this point. All right. But, the inauguration, let's just say, this is my prediction here. This thing's going to be at new all-time highs by that date. Okay. Why? Because Elon is literally like a massive component of the government at this point. Now going to be, under President Trump. That is how that would go. And, I imagine as we get closer to that date, all right, the big money's going to they're going to put together exactly, they're going to connect those blocks, exactly what we just talked about. Elon Musk is going to be part of the government. Things are going to go his way more than other companies. And, I'm not even saying that's going to be how it is, but, that's the thought process here. He is a massive part of the company, or like the company of the freaking United States at this point. Probably going to get bid up to new all-time highs. So, I would say play it safe. Get some time on your contracts. You don't have any reason to really rush anything here. You really don't. You can literally get the 117 expiration here, a major monthly OPEX there, right before earnings, which means you do not have massively juiced premiums. Those are 50 days on your contracts. Not the worst idea in the world, okay? I wouldn't be touching anything short dated. I actually saw a post today, and it was like, if you play short-term options, don't. And I agree. All right. Most people troll themselves, including me, when I try and touch short-term options. There's really no point to do so. You can consistently bring in 50 to 200% if you're just willing to see the actual swings play out on these daily and weekly time frames. Okay? You got to have patience. Most people just don't have the patience. But in reality, get that freaking 500,000%er out of your mind, and you can over and over and over again get these 50 to 100%ers. If you do not know how to do so for yourself and you have not had luck, I will show you how. Link is down below. I'm running the Black Friday sale. I ran it early. You have 2 more days to take advantage of that. It is 50% off of your first payment, and that goes for any plan. Okay? You get the lifetime for $800, and for years to come, you can get everything we talk about on all my trades for years to come. You can do exactly what we just talked about. You can over and over and over again get that 50 to 100% on the main tickers. I trade the main tickers that we cover right here. I do trade, other things right now. I'll go over some of those at the end, what I'm watching currently. But, in reality, guys, if you just have your time horizon a little further out than what you probably have right now, you probably have a higher success rate. You probably could do exactly what I just described. 50% is like 2 to 4% on any of these things that we cover with 2 months on your contracts. It's not that hard to do. You just have to, know where to be looking at the right times, and you got to be patient on it. Okay? Right over here, Tesla. I don't think it's a good idea to play short-term expirations. This is an exact example why. Okay? In reality, this thing's probably going to be back up the highs probably over the next 1 to 2 weeks. And do you really want to suffer all that data? Do you really want to risk it for the biscuit and have your emotions going haywire? No. You just sit back and relax, and you see the thesis, you see the weekly chart, you see the monthly chart over here. It wants a new all-time high. So this is a perfect example of what I was just talking about. This is one of those tickers that, is going to have crazy price swings. You might as well not troll yourself. On the downside, you're watching over here. 313.61 is going to have the daily 21 over here. That's where you found support over there. You can see when you test that guy, all right, you start dancing around it. I would expect the same thing to happen. On the upside, guys, if you get above 348.55 again, you're going to be we're not going to watch this anymore. We're going to watch 361.93. Get above 361.93, watch 384.29, and then 414.50. Apple. This was actually on the focus list this week. Right over here, the trigger level is 230.16. All right, you did have a sexy retest over here, came back down to it. And now the weeklies we pointed out, those would have been up 200, 300% here. If you got the TP1, enter here, taking it up to right here. You have a nice 50%. I don't play weeklies, but that was the game plan. All right, get a nice 50% stop loss going. Guess what? You're going to be at 70% by the time you hit over here. You're going to be at 150 to 200% by the time you got to TP2. All right. And I do think this is the week that is coming up to a new all-time high. Okay. It was the thesis ahead of time. It is still the thesis right now. Okay. And we'll just come over here and we'll point that out right here. Apple, I think this is getting ready for that run back to all-time highs. We don't typically print the 3 green weekly candles if it's going to fade. We usually see that when it's trending higher, fresh downturn break. The call triggers a break above 230.16. Same situation as RK. Plan on using small sides with a 50% stop. DPs, 1129, 230C. All right. And that is what we're looking to. Okay. I got my numbers wrong. It's okay. But I did look back at them today. And no, they fit the numbers that we were just talking about right there. Okay. The move happened pretty quick. And at this point, I do think it's going to take out the all-time high and head to that 240 cycle level above. Okay. So that is Apple. Your support is going to be 234.73 and 232.32. But I do think we're going to be focused on that 237.23 level. I think that's what's going to be hit over the coming trading sessions. It's definitely showing the strength compared to its brothers. Amazon is another one showing the strength compared to its brothers. This is beautiful. Actually, Microsoft and Meta, Apple and Amazon, those kind of are all, they're looking pretty juicy right now. Amazon, though, guys, you know, right over here, you didn't exactly test the 195.37 level. I never got the entry for the, I was going to add the 117 calls down there. Did not get that entry. Okay. As you can see, the alert is right there. I did not get the alert. But as you see, this thing has now skyrocketed. And from here, guys, we're just going to be watching 212.25 get above there, 215.90. I think we're probably heading up to 220 over here on Amazon. Heavy volume on this move up. I'm liking what I am seeing. And as you can see on the weekly chart, yeah, this looks like it's just stair-stepping its way up. And we're going to be coming up to a new all-time high. It looks very similar to something like that. I'm really liking what we are seeing. Okay, so that is Amazon. Google over here, guys, this is one that, you know, I personally wouldn't be, you know, too bullish on. I think there's better options out there, but you're still underneath the short-term moving averages. See my arrow? Okay, we did not follow that arrow. We got back up to, you know, where the top of that thing is. But I was thinking you came down to that, you know, 161.12 to 162.77 spot. Support, 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. Did not come down there, okay? But, you know, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be touching this thing. This thing is just kind of chopping it up / you know, stair-stepping down, whereas we just saw the other ones are stair-stepping up. You don't got a reason to touch this thing. You could do whatever you want, but, you know, I see no reason to. You get decreasing volume on this bounce, whereas the heavy volume was on the sell. When you see heavy volume on the sell, you want to see heavy volume come back on the buy. That's when you could see the people who were selling here, they're probably going to be buying there, or, you know, but they could be new people, but you want to see that buyers are stepping back into the equation. You're not seeing that right now. Okay, so that is Goog. Microsoft over here, phenomenal. Okay, phenomenal. You came down, held right at the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement. You broke above 419.78, and you went straight to that next level at 426.10. From here, we're watching 431.08, and we got 438.50 above. Golden pocket, guys, all right? I'm not going to say you're not in a massive range here. You definitely are. You can play the range, but, you know, not the best to get bullish at the top of the range. It's best to get bullish at the bottom of the range and then, you know, take a profit at the top of the range. That's what you're looking at. But, you know, I like what I'm seeing over here. I think you are getting ready for a big move. It's probably going to be to the upside, and that's going to be fuel for the NASDAQ to continue past those highs. Meta, I also like what I'm seeing over here. Okay. You know, reclaim the daily 9 over here. You lost it. You rejected for, you know, the week after you lost it. If you reclaim it this week, that won't be the worst look. But I do want to point out, you closed above 572.57. Above there, guys, the next spot is going to be 580.38 and then 585. Both of those are within this golden pocket here. I think those are probably going to be tested. You're above your short-term moving averages, guys. You can see this thing like zigzagging around, you know, dancing around these moving averages right in the middle. As you see, you get above it, you have a decent move to the upside. You get underneath it, you get a decent move to the upside. Well, this is just another round, okay? Another round of big moves, okay? Get above it, you have a decent move to there. You get another decent move to the downside. You see what I'm talking about, okay? You're not in a trending market, but you definitely are chopping it up with some big moves on the daily time frame here. And these are things that you can capitalize on if you choose to do so. Above 572.57, nothing until 580.38. That's going to be the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. And then you have 585 right above. Okay. On the downside, you're going to have 572.57. That could be, you know, what you're taking the trade off of. Okay. And then guess what? 566.35 underneath there. That is something that will probably be respected. You're going to have the daily 9 somewhere over here. So maybe you test it with a wick or something like that. All right. Not the worst look on Meta over here. Now let's talk about the chips, guys. Chips are not looking good. They're kind of just, blah right now. They're doing nothing. And this is why I say, like, with where the NASDAQ is, not the best idea to just be forcing trades up your ass. It's not the best idea at all. You should just take a step back. We've called out plenty of money-making opportunities over the last few weeks. And I'm sure anybody who's been following along with it, you're up a pretty penny. I know for a fact you're up a pretty penny. If you didn't, screw the pooch and do some crazy shit, you're up a pretty penny. Just chill. Okay. You got this double top action going on right here. Chances are, you're going to come down here to the 0.618 fib. I can't guarantee that's going to happen, but it does look like, you're consolidating bearishly underneath the moving averages here. And that is that. I do have some chips that I'm bullish on, and I'll point those out in this video right after this. Okay. NVDA is not one of the ones I'm bullish on. It could just pop back up, but since when do you print one of these bad boys and have an inside day right there and then just immediately start popping up? You just don't get that look. Okay. This looks very likely like this, like exactly actually like this. Consolidating, you're breaking down. That's your consolidation, maybe before another leg down. Okay. Let's see if we can find another one like that. Probably not. Big red day right there, just like that. Consolidating. Yeah, 2 days. Excuse me. I always get these hiccups, guys. I really do. It's okay. It's just going to happen during my videos, and I am sorry about that, but it's just a thing. And I apologize. I was not here yesterday, guys. At work, at night. I did not feel like recording a video after work. The cop showed up at work. This guy was being a dunce. This guy decided not to leave. I was like, hey, you're looking like you're about to start breaking things. You can either leave or I'm going to call the cops and they will ask you to leave. He was like, call the cops. Do it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. There was that whole mess. And the wife was also a psycho lady. And she ended up, having her say. And that's fine. But, if you guys are psycho and you're pushing it on to other people, hey, check yourself. Or the cops will check yourself. And that is going to be how that goes 100% of the time. You can't be doing that crazy stuff. All right. But yeah, I was just not in the mood to make a video, so I apologize on that. I came on to record and I was like, that doesn't even sound jolly. Sounds terrible. We're not going to talk about it. Okay, guys, if I don't sound like I'm in a good mood, these videos don't pick up any traction. They just don't. And that is that. And I do thank you guys for the likes we got on the Sunday video. We will have timestamps for the following week, guys. We're going to do this on a week-by-week basis, okay? Every week. We're going to need to see a video above those 200 likes, okay? And that is how we're going to maintain the timestamps. If there's a week where we do not get the 200 likes, the following week, we're not going to have timestamps. This is something that will take about 2 hours of my time each week. Does not take you guys any time. It takes a little effort on your part. Just, scroll down a little bit. Just, do it exactly what I'm doing with the mouse pad. Just scroll down on your screen and hit the like button. It's going to be somewhere down here, okay? You do that for me once a week, 200 likes. I promise I will give you those timestamps and I will put in the extra time so you guys can have a smoother navigation around these videos, okay? The video, though, it's hanging on for dear life. I have to imagine you're probably going to hit it with a gap down tomorrow, okay? Or more consolidation, and then you continue lower down to 131.26. That's your next break and retest level. Expect buyers down there. If we cannot hold down there, we just, fall off a cliff, okay? Watch it right here. Golden pocket from this whole move up is going to start at 121, 120.75 technically, which will align with this high. There we go, okay? Now, AVCO over here, guys, this is one that also is just consolidating. I'm just going to say, if you do end up moving down, it's going to be a one-day move down. Take advantage if you want. You don't have to. But it's going to be a one-day move down if it happens, and you're going to come right back up. Why do I say that? Daily RSI, same spot. We have been seeing these bounces for over a year now. It is very likely that if that gets hit intraday, it is going to mark a bottom. There you go. Big move down, big move back up. One day. So I think this is probably going to be a clear as day money-making opportunity. I like December 20 calls. I like further out calls. Just know if you're buying those December 20 calls, okay, if you're even buying December 13th calls, they're juiced. You might as well buy time if you're going to go past the December 6th expiration. You know, chances are if you see that, grab that December 6th expiration, 170C, 160C, whatever you want to play at that time. It's probably going to print a few 100% pretty quick because of what I just talked about, okay? This thing, when it gets down, you like to see price snap back up. You hit it right here on this day, okay? You hit it right here on this day, and it doesn't have to, you know, hold, but you see that quick snap back. This is the move that, you know, on December 6 calls, those can produce this couple 100%. And, you know, we haven't been seeing it here, which is making me believe we could get this day right here and then snap back up. Okay. And that's kind of what I'm leaning to right now after, you know, you just can't get above the short-term moving average here at the daily 9. That is not typically something you want to see. Okay. You know, I'm open to it, but I'm also bullish on this thing right now. There's no reason to get bearish on it. There's that. TSM over here, guys, in the golden pocket. Okay. Break under 179.49. We're going to watch what I was watching originally on his move, which is down here. Okay. I think that this is a very similar situation to Amazon right over here. Okay. Someone actually asked me in the Discord, and I'm just going to talk about it right now. You know, risk management on something like Amazon. Why wouldn't you cut? Okay. Like right here. It broke under here. It was on this day right here. So why wouldn't you cut and just get down, get back in when it gets lower? Well, guys, if you have time on your contracts, the same exact principle that I was talking about earlier, okay, same concept, same principle, whatever you want to call it, if time on the contracts, you know you're in the right spot, okay? You know you can wait it out because you have weeks to like 2 months on these things. I only play 1 to 2 month options or further out. I typically do not. AVGO is the exception right now. I don't like grabbing, you know, anything short. I don't like this weekly shit. I don't like it. Okay. On a situation like this, why don't you cut here and enter right here? Guys, because of this. Okay. I know I'm in the right ticker. I know this is going to be moving the market. I know we have bullish structure here on the weekly. I know it's on the daily. All of it was bullish. Okay. In reality, if you broke through that 0.786 fib, I knew for a fact we had the next golden pocket starting right above our 195.37 breakout level. Why am I going to cut, you know, for maybe a 50% loss down here? When in reality, I know if you come down here, you're going to get that quick reaction right back into the entry point, which is going to be right over here. Okay. Now you went above and beyond and you did that today. And now you're at 208. So this is exactly what I was talking about a few days ago when that actually happened last week. All right. But I thought I'd share with you guys, if you have time in those contracts, you give yourself so much more room to play with. And if you know you're not on a garbage stock, like we're going to talk about a garbage stock that, you know, was given some sort of signal again. We've talked about so much. We know not to touch these things because in reality, it's failed every bullish setup for the last like year. So there's no reason to touch the garbage stocks. But, you know, the stocks that we cover on a consistent basis here on this channel, they're not garbage stocks. They will recover. In reality, they have bullish structure. That's why we're trading the things. That's why Goog, we're not touching right now. You're only touching the things that, you know, trend is going to be your friend till the end. I know it sounds as corny as it does. I understand. But it is going to be your friend. And that I can promise you. And you're going to increase that win rate like, you know, probably more than double if you just expand your time horizon. There you go. Okay. Perfect look over here on Amazon. I have to assume coming up to 212.25 and 215.90. I really like what's going on over there. I really do. Moving on over here to AMD, guys. This is one of those garbage stocks that is in that down. You know, I'm not even going to call it a garbage stock. It's doing what expected. Okay. You're rejecting at the short-term moving average. See how you're trekking up here? You're finding buyers here, short-term moving averages. Well, now you're underneath. Garbage right here. I always get the hiccups. Garbage. Okay. Rejection right here where you broke down from. Well, what do you have here? More rejection where you broke down from and that short-term, you know, moving average, the daily 9 over here. Pop back up, rejection at the 20 right there. You know, you're in a downtrend. And until you could come over here of 150.52, I'd say there's no point in touching this thing long. You're playing against the macro trend here. You got no reason to touch it long. Okay? Do you see how ugly that thing looks? Is exactly what I'm talking about. Trend is going to be your friend until the end. Right now, the trend is down. That is AMD. ARM, this is something I like. Okay? You know, I also will say, this is not, you know, the prettiest guy right here. but you are bounced right where you need to over here. And I'll just point out what I'm liking on the hourly time frame. You're getting buyers right around this trend line, okay? And you actually can't extend that. You know, you can make it something like that. I'm going to be, you know, just having that. Or maybe it's going to be false breakdown here. All right, you want to see 137.29 hold. I like, you know, what was going on around that level. You're finding buyers right around there before. You ended up slipping down. That's the 0.618 fib. And you start bouncing back up. All right, so we'll see about this. But as long as you hold 133.65, I like this thing. If you do not hold 133.65 from that point, you know, I think this thing is probably going to start heading lower. Okay, down to these following levels, 131.45 and then 130.08. You know, I like anywhere between here and 133.65. That is what I like about ARM. Okay, that is where the bullish structure on the hourly time frame will be intact. If that is lost, though, that is when you can start going down. See, that was your last break and retest level. You get the 0.786 fib right above it. You lose it. Probably going to have 100% retracement, which means 131.45. And from that point, you know, there's not a lot down here. Okay, yeah, you could have this, but it's not a sign of strength to give back most of the move. There's not. All right, at that point, I don't want it. That's that. That's what I'm liking right here. You got the daily 9. Okay, so buyers are going to step in. It's going to be right here where you're at. That's what I like about it. But it is the same concept as AMD over here. So if you're taking these things, you know, playing with smaller size, test out the waters. Okay, and over time, you'll see how these things, you know, perform. You need the hard lessons. Do it exactly how I just described it. Small size on the things that you know you're doing bad things on. That is that. MU over here, that's another thing. I don't recommend trading this thing. You did come down. Respect the golden pocket right over here. You did respect. Okay. Where was it? Nah, never mind. Never mind. We're not gonna that. Technically. Yeah, you got right up there. Almost to it. All right. Regardless, you bounce off the golden pocket. Now you're just back in this range, guys. All right. We were looking for, you know, the 50% retracement of this range, which is going to be right around 105.06, 105.09, and the 106.77 gap fill. Putting a shooting star candlestick right up here off of 105.09 and right before that 106.77 gap fill. And now you're just, you know, back in consolidation mode around these, you know, short-term moving averages. You don't have a reason to touch these things. This is why I was saying chips are looking blah right now. You don't have a reason to touch them. Okay. Now moving over here to Bitcoin, guys, you are getting that pullback we talked about the other day. I said there's no point in trading this thing right now. There's no point in chasing it. Why? Because if people are watching the 100K psych level, you get one of two scenarios. You're going to bust past and you go decently higher. Okay, like maybe 110,000. Why? Because then the big players get to watch everybody, you know, sell their stuff, and then boom, they'll run it, and then people get more FOMO because they get to watch it run, and they're like, oh my God, I could have made so much more money. That's one scenario. The other one is you're going to sell right before 100K and you're not going to test it. You guys want to see the high over here? Troll, 99.8K on the dot. What is that about? It's exactly what we talked about. Okay. You're now underneath the daily 9. You better hold the 21 here. That's where you found buyers there for where you found buyers here. Because if you don't, all right, it's slippery slope. It is a slippery slope. Yeah, we'll keep it at that low right there, all right? Under 86.6K right there, you have absolutely nothing, okay? And that's when people are going to lose their freaking minds. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not a permanent bear over here on Bitcoin. You know, we called for this breakout well beforehand. We called for the break up here. Once you got this candle closed right there, weekly candle above that bull flag upper trend line, got the breakout, went decently higher, started putting my warnings out around this 86K level. All right, over on Twitter and stuff like that. I said at this point, you know, you've had like a 30% vertical run or a 26% vertical. Yeah, it was 26% vertical run right there. Well, what happened, guys? You went straight up for, you know, almost 40% here, and then you went even higher. 50% move. Back the pullback. Bearish diverge right over there. Okay, what's happened to the miners? Said it wasn't the best idea to focus on these guys right now. Okay, if you were in this move, CLSK, this is the one that I was shouting from the top of my lungs over here on the channel. I was saying to, you know, if you made this, you're up 100, 200%, no matter what expiration you were going with, January, December, didn't matter what you're playing with me, okay? If you're entering down here on these 3 candlesticks, you're up big on this move, take the profits, okay? Pay yourself, because if it comes back, you're going to slap yourself in the face. That happened. Coin is pulling back right over here. I still, you know, stand by what I say. I think this thing is going to get a little bit of a bigger pullback here. When do you rally off of 2 back-to-back indecision candlesticks here? You typically don't. Okay. MSTR, guys, point out this weekly candlestick over here is very similar to over here. I'm not, a bear by any means on this, but I think it makes no sense to chase this thing. We pointed this out on this channel when you broke this downtrend over here, okay? And before you broke the downtrend, we pointed out here on the golden pocket test. Did it do something I did not expect? Yeah. Came up here and you went, what, 100% from there? 150? I had no idea that was coming. No idea. But I did know this guy was coming. And you just kept riding that daily 9 here. What has happened now, guys, is the first time you did not hold the daily 9. You're at the 21 EMA. You have not tested that one yet. That's kind of my trend, moving average right there. Short-term trend is the blue line, daily 9, and then you have the 21. This is the macro trend there. Okay. Rejection right there. Held it right there. Okay. If it does not hold here, you watch 318.62, and then, guys, we're coming timber down to 267.89. Insane. Okay, so that's where you're watching the upside. You got 383.40 resistance. And then, honestly, you got this high right here at 453 and then 543. Can't believe we're saying that one. All right, but you got Mar over here. Even got the insane weekly setup over here. What is it so far to start the week? Fake out. Okay, fake out, breakout. It looks like you're about to get sucked back into it. If you can hold this to get another daily, weekly close over this trend line, then you're watching 27.30 and the 30.45. But in the meantime, we have no reason to watch these things. Well, not watch it. We have no reason to trade these things. Let's put it that way. I'm watching them. All right. Now let's talk about some setups that I am watching personally and how, I'm looking at these guys. First one is you. Okay, guys. I'm thinking this weekly candle right here has the potential to, close out green. Even if it does not, guys, you had a big week up, big breakout right here. It is very likely that you are going to continue. We just saw that you can hit it with a 30% plus move in 1 week. Almost 40% move, 39% move intra-week. We know this thing could move. Typically, after it gets these big weeks, you don't just stop right there. Okay, so I'm thinking, this candle right here on the weekly chart, I'm thinking it can turn into one of these guys right there, where you wick down, okay? But by the end of the week, you did end up having, that's 10% intra-week move. Okay, maybe close out 6% off the lows. That would be coming here, up to here. All right, close out around like $24. And then maybe next week, thinking, something like this. Over the next 2 to 4 weeks, I am thinking we follow this arrow here. I think you have 27 to $31 incoming. 25C, 117, 25C. Around 150 right now. Anywhere from 140 to 160 today. I saw it. Okay. Guess what? You get up here, $500 of $30, $500 of intrinsic value. 500 divided by 150, guys. We're looking at 250%. All right. Yeah, enough said. 230% to be exact. 233% from 150. That's what I'm looking at by 30 over here. Get to 31, you're up 300%. Okay. These are the types of things that I say, put your attention on the, ones with strength over here, the ones with bullish structure. Give yourself some time and ride that wave. You're going to have nice times. Okay. And if you need help finding these things and having those nice times, I could help you out and show you my method to the madness in real time. Link is down below. LLY. This is one I am disappointed in myself on. I have done it the second time now, where I sold right before the move, literally right before the move I was watching for. Cannot believe it. But it happened. Okay. Literally yesterday, this thing was looking butt ugly. What happened by the end of the day? You turn that bad boy around. Turn the hammer candlestick off for a 747.55 down there. And then boom, you got the $50 move that I was planning on playing. And contracts went over 100%. And I was sad to see it. Well over 100%, 100 like 20% or something. I was sad. That is okay, guys. All right. If you did not play this one, just know this is a fresh downtrend breakout right here. You got above the daily 9. All right. You could not really hold above it here. We're going to see what happens here. The retest entry over here is going to be off of 767.61 level over here. If you pull back and see that, You have decent upside from that point, $40, and then at that point, you're probably gonna get a big boy move. Okay, this reminds me of something like that. Reminds me of maybe it's like that. Maybe you're gonna get back most of the move. I don't think that's gonna be the case. Okay, but if you do, we're gonna be watching golden pocket. Oh, it's right around the level anyway. Yeah, we're right around the level we're talking about anyway. All right, 767.61. That is the level you're watching. It's gonna be a daily 9 test, maybe a downtrend retest. Okay, the trend line retest, and also you got a key level right there. I like what I'm seeing. You got heavy volume on this move up. Weekly chart, we need to be bullish off of this move right here. I didn't like how, we were closing over here on the daily on Friday. I did not like it at all. And I saw a continuation on that move on Monday. And I was like, oh, okay, I was wrong. I was not wrong. I was, again, just not, these contracts are expensive. You had to pay, $500 to get, what was it? $100 out the money. Okay, you want $100 out the money with 2 months on it. It was near $2,000. I'm pretty sure. I didn't want to pay that. But this is exactly what I was just talking about. If you give it more time, your emotions are not going to come into play, and then you could just see, okay, what your chart skills were seeing ahead of time. You could just let the move develop. This thing, I didn't like the volatility on it. Okay, I was seeing it go up and down, up and down. I was like, okay, I'll cut my loss before it comes all the way back down. But in reality, it was what it was. And I would not have even seen like even a 20% loss if I just did not push it with only a month and I had 2 months on it. I like that 2-month mark. You're not going to see too much volatility on them. But then when you catch the move, they spike 50 to 100%. Okay. And they happen quick. When you get the move, you get the move. All right. So this is just this one that got away. I'm sad about it. I apologize for it, but it is what it is. I hope some of you guys made money off it. Now we're talking KO. All right, guys, 65.47 I do think is incoming. You're grinding right around here on the 21 on the weekly time frame. This thing looks sexy after what it printed last week right here from the 0.786 fib and this major break and retest level 61.62. I think you're coming up to test that daily 9 and maybe the daily 21. So we're talking 65.47 to 66.58. Now this is one over here, guys. You could play that December 20 expiration, get a dollar move, you're up 100%. These things move insanely well. Same goes for that 117 expiration. They will move decently well on even a dollar move. I really like this. I like it on pullbacks if you get it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, speaking over here, pullbacks, Nike. This is one, I like the fresh downtrend break over here. You got the daily bullish divergence going on. I like what you put in on the weekly time frame over here. I have a feeling this dip is going to be bought up by the end of the week. Okay. If not, we will see about that. But, I got a solid feeling that is going to be the case. All right. Next 1 to 2 weeks, I think we see some more upside on Nike. I think we ramp up, I should say, into earnings. You got above your short-term moving averages. I like it a lot better than the look of over here. Okay. And now you're pulling back into them to test them. 77.65. That was your break and retest level. I don't like how this closed. I think you come a little bit lower tomorrow. Probably test the short-term moving averages. Daily 9 is going to be around like, a dollar lower from current price. 76.60. 76, 76.60 to 76.80. That's what it's going to be at tomorrow. All right. If buyers don't hold there, you watch down here at 75.34. Either way, I'm looking for buyers to step in, either right here or down here. I'm looking for this move right here. All right. Back up to 79.93. Then also up to 82.42 from there. I really like this. I think you're about to start the stair-stepping pattern right here. You popped above this high. Notice how, you haven't done that. Okay. You slightly popped above it over here. You do not have the daily bullish divergence. We know buyers are very likely, they're going to be stepping in here. You just need your sign of strength. This was your sign of strength. Here's the pullback opportunity. All right. Now let's talk about another pullback opportunity right here. You did not get that sign of strength. Okay. And, I like to look at things like this way. Okay. Let's mark them. Mark them out. Take off the magnet here. You have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, equal high. Okay. Well, you got very close to an equal high, but you can see buyers are stepping in here. Now, this is exactly what forms an inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's just the, fact that when you break over the neckline, you get the higher high. That is what creates that inverse head and shoulders pattern. The point is, you got the equal high, you don't buy or step in, and chances are they're going to put in a higher low here. So you can take like a half entry on that pullback, and then, take a fall down there, risk a level. You could do that. Or you do what I'm talking about. You take the half entry on the pullback, and then you take the other entry when you get above that previous high. Okay. And from that point, you have a change in structure. Okay. And even if it's just for a move like this, okay, that is going to pay right there. 117 expiration, that will pay right there. Okay. But as of right now, testing that daily 9 here, already broke the downtrend. You kind of have an equal high right here compared to over here. I'm liking what we are seeing. I think the tide is turning right over here, and I think we're about to start that stair-stepping pattern we just talked about over there on Nike. Okay. Other one, INTC. Okay. I don't necessarily like what I'm seeing over here. You take out this, you're probably going to test this 0.618 fib over there. They're very close. So, if you got time on this one, I think you're going to be completely fine. You could see, the overwhelmingly stair-step pattern over here. Okay. I don't doubt that we're going to get another version of that. Maybe you get a wick or wick here to close out the week. I don't know exactly how chips are going to trade. I just showed you how chips are, not looking the best. But, this is out of all of them. I'm liking this. All right. With dated calls, you have earnings all the way out in January. 117 expiration is not going to be juiced. I like it. Upstart, this one we pointed out. Okay. You're just consolidating over here on the weekly chart. You're holding this break and retest level. Typically, I point this out in the weekly update, typically are not going to print a green candlestick on a weekly break and retest and not hold it. Okay, you don't typically fade that as proof buyers are stepping in there and you go a little bit higher. You already did go decently higher there. Okay, $7. You actually came back here, retested it yesterday, and now you have an inside day. Thinking this does continue up to the high. Okay, so above 82.25, we got 86.07. Pullbacks are buying opportunity. Consolidations are buying opportunities. I like this over here on Upstart. VA, now this is the one I was talking about, guys. Getting a little peekaboo action with, again, another false breakout, right? Any bullish signal I've gotten over the last, year or so on BA since this original decline, okay? We had, any bullish setup, not even signal, any bullish setup has just failed. Okay? And then if you get a signal, it's been a false breakout. Like, there's no point in touching these things. There's absolutely no point in touching these things. You got an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. Okay. I think this is probably what I was looking at right over here. What happens? It barely lasts. It barely lasts. You think a big reversal is, underway here. What happens? It does not happen. It just doesn't. Okay. But you did print this, bullish weekly bar here. Does have low volume on that compared to, the actual sell there. But, on the daily time frame, a little peekaboo, but then you got sucked back down into it. Take out 153.28. You probably do get a move up to 157.66. If you can get above here, this is when things change. Okay. Until you could see that real change here above 163.44, you got no reason to really get bullish on this. Okay. That was the last weekly high. This is the last swing high over here. And as you can see, it just wants to keep going lower. 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 You get your first bullish setup happening here. What happens? It fails and you go lower. And then you start with your freaking lower highs again. Okay? So let's take out this lower high right here at 163.44. And then we could talk about this thing. But until then, guys, I remember I posted on Twitter and people got annoyed that I called it a garbage stock. All right. It is a garbage stock until you could start, not failing these bullish signals. Yeah. All right. You get no reason. Like, this thing does not have strength behind it. Okay. Don't touch it. All right, guys. Good luck out there tomorrow. I hope everybody kills it. Okay. Target did end up, getting that. I pointed out in the weekly update, off of these big earnings, gap downs over here. Typically get a recovery over the coming 1 to 2 weeks. You did start to get that action here. Okay. And it doesn't always happen. But when you get big earnings gap downs, you typically get that, little recovery. It doesn't fully recover ever, but you get that little recovery. That's what you're looking for. I'm not training it, of course, but, you could see what we see over here. Did get that. I hope everybody kills it the rest of the week. But just remember, guys, all right, you have your final day tomorrow until we have a day off. And then, after the day off, you have a half day. So the big players are definitely not going to be out and about. So do not expect anything crazy. Expect slow grinds because of low volume. And that's really what I would say going into following few trading sessions. Hope everybody has a lovely Thanksgiving. Okay. And, if you don't have family members to celebrate with and stuff like that, just know we are here on this channel. We are a community. Okay. And, I will share some celebration with you. I do understand. And I hate to say that, but I do understand. That sucks. But yeah, I hope everybody has happy holidays, guys. I really do. I'm gonna have a Thanksgiving video out on Thanksgiving. We're gonna do that. Okay. So no video tomorrow. We're gonna have one on Thanksgiving though, Thanksgiving morning. Okay. So I look forward to that. And yeah, I will catch you all then. So I guess I don't have to tell everybody happy holidays until then. But there you go, guys. I hope everybody enjoys tomorrow, and I will catch you on Thursday. That being said, peace.